Greetings, I'm Pillar Nexus Ancient Gladiator. Today with kind of a strange episode. Pillar loves tabletop games, Space Hulk. Except that I don't have the physical board game. I used to. I've got a copy of the rules for the time being, and I've got my little drawn out map. But the way the game works is you'll have a squad of Space Marine Terminators. This is the 40k universe setting. Warhammer 40k, 40,000, however. But long story short, it's dungeon crawling in space. You've got your squad of heroes against a never ending wave of enemies, and you're trying to achieve your objective. Maybe you're trying to get your special weapons guy to the target and set it on fire. Maybe you're trying to retrieve an object and get it out. Maybe you're just trying to get to a specific spot on the board. Maybe you have to do all three. But your enemies are without number, your time is limited, and the odds are very much against you. I think more than anything, I want to talk about this just the general style of game, where it kind of appeals to me, just how crazy it is. You know, one side having a handful of specialists that are that can shoot and have access to some very special weapons, but there's only so many of them. And like with a board game, you have a timer. I was gonna do this with a PC game because I found it, but I was struggling with that one. I still have the recordings that I haven't deleted yet. I could share it, but I don't. I don't need to make an ass out of myself that way. Um, yeah, this. But yeah, you've got your team, and there's only a few of you, and you're easily taken down in melee combat. But at least you have guns, and part of it, um, to that end, you can set some of your Marines to be on Overwatch. Uh, they can watch whatever's in front of them, and the moment they see any kind of movement, they open fire. But there's a risk with it, and that risk is um, guns jamming. If you survive, uh, you can try to clear the jam on the next turn, but otherwise, Genestealers will tear you a new one. Meanwhile, the enemy is just a very straightforward get to wherever they are and tear them to pieces. They don't have guns, but they have reserves, and it's good enough for them. And then there'll be things like doors to block line of sight, um, and maybe buy you a little bit of time, or um, maybe they'll be in like other games, um, things like hazardous things lying around, or maybe just like pits you can fall into, stairs you can climb to other levels. Um, Along with Overwatch, there's another order you can give your Terminators called a Guard that lets you do rerolls in melee. Okay, so basic Terminator gets 1 die in melee. Genestealer gets 3. For the Terminator to not die, they have to roll better than the Genestealer. Yeah. And then there's crazy enemies that are rare that can show up called Brood Lords that are even worse. Yeah, in general, all they really need to win against you is to either kill all your Terminators or the one that matters. Like for this mission, this isn't really an exact replica of the map, it's kind of close. Your heavy flamer guy has to get to this spot and set that on fire. If he dies or if he runs out of heavy flamer shots, that's it. You lose. So the thing with asymmetrical games is having the rule in place that once a game is done, the player swaps sides and then have to figure it out. And then see if they can do better. If they're taking over the losing side. Another challenge is having an actual sand timer. So that you have very limited time to get it done. To get your orders figured out. A particular challenge with this is your movement. You can go forward, you can go backwards, but it takes AP, more AP. You can turn. You cannot move sideways as a Terminator. Genestealers can. Yeah. But yeah, this whole asymmetrical concept is just appealing to me. Just having this puzzle you're trying to solve of there's only a few of us against this innumerable enemy. How do we solve this? Although for me, I like personally being, the bad guys, the vast numbers of forces that are easily shot down, but if we can do the damage, then we can actually win. See, I like games like that. I never got to play my copy of Space Hulk when I had it. I have gotten to play both versions of the Doom board game and level 7 Omega Protocol. I've never gotten to run Descent as an Overlord, but I've gotten to play it as on the heroic side. Yeah. I just like seeing games like these, even when they're stupid ass hard. Space Hulk is just a classic game, and I honestly hope they can come out with a 5th edition sometime soon. Or I can at least get my hands on an old copy of the game, because it's cool. The minis are nice too. I've had 3rd and 4th editions before, and I should have painted them. The only game where I ever painted my figures was Doom 2016. The board game based on that one. If someone still has my colorful Marines and black and white demons, I want to make a deal for my old copy back. I missed that one. Yeah. Space Hulk's a game that's been around for a very long time, and it's still something that holds up today. The concept itself is pretty much timeless. Just handful of guys, endless waves of foes, limited capacities, greater capacities, the ability to freaking shoot. And plenty of reserves. Oh yeah, there's another thing with shooting is sometimes you're limited to sometimes you're limited. Again, like the heavy planer Terminators, like 6 shots. There's the assault cannon Terminator with a limited number of shots, but they're very lethal. And um, being on Overwatch is kind of risky. Their jams are even worse. They can malfunction and just blow up. Yeah. If not this game, there's also the fully cooperative, solo playable Death Angel, the Space Hulk card game. If you like the action but you lack the table space. The physical game, with some of its maps, takes up a shitload of table space. It's kind of impressive, really. There are people who are dedicated to making like 3D Space Hulk maps, and that's just fucking awesome. Definitely go look for them. Is there really anything else? I just it's just me being nostalgic about the game I used to have, even though I love the concept. And I just want to recommend it to others. Find this game. If not this game, find something along similar lines. Board Game Geek has a great big trove of knowledge to finding games like these. I'm sorry this picture doesn't really do it the best justice. But yeah, Space Hulk, awesome game. I hope they bring it back. And here's hoping. This has been Pillar Nexus, and I'll see you next time.